Hello, welcome back to a new weekly reading vlog. So it is almost 2 p.m. on Monday. I hope you guys who have, like, I don't know if the US have anything on Monday, but in the UK it's currently Easter bank. We have a 4-day weekend. It's a real good time for people who get bank holidays off. I do not get bank holidays off. So I have just finished editing my vlog, but I am taking it chill today because it was actually quite a short one, so that is me done for the day once I've made my thumbnail. But this week we are having a little bit of a themed reading vlog. Fingers crossed if I can get my ass in gear and read all the books I want to for this. So I want to get through 3 books in this vlog. If I only manage 2, then I'm absolutely fine with that. But the 3 that I'm aiming for is Malice by Heather Walter, Dream Country by Ashley Brown, and then Witches Steeped in Gold by Shannon Smart. So essentially I'm just going to be trying to read all of my April arcs. Now these 2 are on my Bookopoly TBR, so these 2 are my priority and I will definitely get them done in this week. However, this one is not on my TBR and it is also not a priority. Like, if I don't read this at all, that's absolutely fine, because this one was not actually sent to me for review. Ashley from Frolic Through Fiction for some reason received multiple copies of this. The publisher just kept sending her copies of Witches Steeped in Gold, so she did pass one along to me. The release date on this one is the 20th of April, so I would like to read this, bring you guys a review ahead of its release. But if I don't manage to get around to it, then I'm not going to beat myself up about it because I'm not obligated to review this one. So I have started one of these, and that is Malice by Heather Walter. I have been excited about this for the longest time. This one is a finished copy that was kindly sent to me by Del Rey. Thank you so much to Del Rey for sending me this one. But I do also have an art copy of this as well, which I think is currently in the kitchen. I don't have it to hand. And the arc, of course, was also sent to me by Del Rey, so thank you once again. So I'm gonna check now actually if the physical copy pages line up with my arc. Yes, they do. So I'm only 32 pages into this. I got a little bit of a head start and read just a small bit yesterday. I said in one of my videos that I thought it was young adult and I was corrected. It's apparently adult, and it is a retelling of Sleeping Beauty from the perspective of an evil fairy, and I do believe that it is also LGBT, as the evil fairy falls in love with Aurora. I'm super excited about this because not only is this a retelling, which is something that I love because I love fairy tales and things that are fairy tale-esque, it's also like a villain origin story, which I can definitely get behind because you guys know I love me a villain. It does read, as I mentioned, very YA with the 30 pages that I've read so far, and it also does seem to be a slight bit not info dumpy, but it is very clear that the purpose of this beginning is to introduce you to the system of what's going on, because we have things called graces, and the graces are the fairies. So most of them have good graces, so they can like alter your appearance for a fee, like change your eye color, they can grant you knowledge and things like that. But our main character Alice is known as the Dark Grace, as she is part Vila. I feel like it's Vila, but Vilas were essentially monsters, and she turned up one day, some guy brought her to the door, turns out she's half Vila, and she pretty much grants curses as opposed to like bounties. So she can give you a potion that will give your enemy warts and things like that, and nobody likes her, like not even the other graces. So the beginning of this is setting up like what the graces are, how they work, like how their magic works, and I believe that the story is going to kick off and Aurora is going to be introduced soon, as the Graces have just received an invitation to Aurora's birthday party. So real excited to continue on with this. I'm planning on getting through a big chunk of this today. Because of the writing style, I do think it will be quite a quick read in terms of it being easily digestible, especially as I've just read like a few chapters where it's literally telling you everything, like your setup, what you need to know going in. And I don't mind an info dump, you know, because I would rather go into the bulk of a story knowing the magic system and the politics, so that I'm set up and I have that background knowledge so that I can fully enjoy like the plot and the plot twists and everything that's going on later on in the book. It is just like it's a bit heavy-handed because it's super obvious that that's what's happening, but otherwise I am currently enjoying this one. So I'll let you know whether I continue to enjoy it as I go through it, but right now I'm not sure what I have planned for the rest of the day. I want to do some cleaning. I've already done my workout for the day. If you guys missed last week's vlog, I'm working on 2 challenges in April. I want to work out every day, and I also want to post a photo to Instagram every day. So the last thing that I need to do to be on track for all of this stuff is sort out my Instagram photo, and I'm struggling because I have no idea what I want to post. So I think I may actually get my calendar down off the wall and pencil in, because I don't actually use my calendar. It came in fairly, as you can see, I write absolutely nothing in it because I also have my daily planner, which is what I reference the most. But because I use this for everything, like my monthly spreads, my daily spreads, my weekly spreads are all like mixed between like lifestyle, YouTube, candles, everything goes into here. I think I may actually use this as I have a nice easy to see monthly spread to jot down all of the days where I know what I'm going to be posting on Instagram, and then I can see what days I need to fill in, see what ideas I can come up with, and then it will be a lot easier for me going forward because I won't have to sit like I have been doing for most of the morning while I'm working on other stuff, thinking about what I'm going to be posting on Instagram today. Hey, it's like 9 p.m, but I just wanted to check in with you guys because I received some book mail this morning. I mentioned in last week's vlog that when I'd finished Truth Witch, I was going to replace all of my copies with hardback. So only one has arrived so far. I've had to get most of them apart from this one secondhand, but the one that has arrived is Blood Witch, which is the 3rd book in the series, and I just love these covers so much more than the paperback covers, although I will say I don't love the hardback cover of Truth Witch either. The ones for Wind Witch and Blood Witch are much prettier. So I have this. If you guys want to know more in depth what Truth Witch is about, I will link last week's vlog because that vlog is pretty much dedicated to that book. But essentially I'm a co-host for Witchlands Long, which is hosted by Jade from JD Rereads. So I am going to be reading all of the Witchland series that is currently published and will be published this year throughout the next few months. Aside from that, I do actually have a little bit of a progress update for Malice. This one is the ARC copy, which is the copy that I'm actually reading, and last night I got up to page 216, so I'm like nearly halfway through it. I'm really surprised because I just beasted through 200 pages almost last night. So the basic storyline of this is that we're following a girl called Alice, and she's known as the Dark Grace. So we have the normal fairies that are the normal graces, like you have your beauty grace, your wits grace, there's like innovation graces, and they were created a while ago when the Kingdom of the Fae made a like peace treaty with this Kingdom of the Borderlands called Briar. So they essentially gifted the Kingdom of Briar some of their magic, and that resulted in the graces. So the graces have a limited amount of power that they can use, and eventually when they've expelled all of their magic, their blood will fade and new graces will come up to replace them, and they're paid for their services mainly by nobles. And then we have Alice, who is a dark grace, and she is half Vila, and the Vilas are monsters. There was like a massive war a long time ago between the Kingdom of the Fae and the Kingdom of the Vila, and the Vila lost and were exiled, but for some reason Alice is around. She is a half Vila. They kind of questioned her, tried to test out the limitations of her magic, and then eventually just gave up and had her installed as the Dark Grace. So whereas everyone else's magic is for good in whatever aspect, Alice's magic is very, very bad. So she is employed for cursing people. She can also kill people because of the Grace Council and the Grace Laws. Only certain ways she can do this, like when somebody is terminally ill and they don't want to get better, she can ease their passing and things like that. But she is treated awfully because of what she is, like because she is half Vila. And it's not her fault. Like, she doesn't want to be practicing dark magic, but dark magic is all that she has, and she is in this position where she's being employed to do these things, so she can't even choose not to use magic if she wishes. One day an invitation is sent to the Graces, and they are invited to the Princess Aurora's birthday party. All of the Graces are invited, and it is a masquerade ball. So Alice goes along and she ends up having a conversation with Aurora, who is trying to break the curse that has been placed on her family family because many moons ago, many generations ago, Avila cursed the Briar royalty as revenge for the decimation of the Vila lands, and because of that every Briar princess will die on her 21st birthday if she has not experienced true love's kiss. Now through the generations some of the princesses have had true love's kiss and broken the curse, but with every generation there are some casualties because not everybody finds their true love, and Aurora is currently the last heir to the kingdom. Her two elder sisters have already died of the curse. She is now 20 years old, she has less than a year to live, and she needs to break this curse, whether it is through finding her true love, which she has not had any success with so far, or through finding some other way to break the curse. So that is the plot, the basic premise. At the beginning of this, and even where I'm up to like almost halfway through, there is a lot of telling and not showing in this book. That is pretty much the only criticism I really have of it so far, but it is very much like something will be happening and then we'll need to learn a little bit of relevant world building. It's usually the history of the world because there's quite a lot going on with like all the politics of these three kingdoms and also the past wars, so it will kind of just cut and then tell you a little bit about that, or like Alice is learning some things about the Vila and the Fae throughout this in the form of books, so it will pretty much just tell you what exactly it is Alice is reading and learning so that we read and learn it at the same time as her. Aside from that though, I am really enjoying it. I enjoy the writing. It's not anything incredibly special so far. Like, I don't love the writing, it doesn't strike me in any way, but it is consistently good and I really enjoy the setting. It is a very, as you can imagine, fairy tale-esque world, and the extravagance of the palace and the graces and how their magic works reminds me a lot of the capital in the Hunger Games, with just the ridiculousness. Like at one particular ball their dresses move so it looks like there's fish swimming across the skirts and things like that. All this like extravagant beauty type things, and I'm really enjoying the setting of that, and I'm really interested in learning more about the history, with like the history of the Fae, the Vila, and more about the wars and stuff. In terms of the romance, not got a whole lot of it yet. It is turning into quite a bit of a slow burn, but I'm definitely excited to see how that develops. But for now I want to get to page 400 tonight, so I'm gonna go curl up on the sofa, maybe make myself a hot beverage and see how much more of this I can get through. I'm feeling very optimistic after my success yesterday.
I'm not so sure that I can stay high above these clouds with you. I'm not sure where I'm going to, but I have to leave. I can't be tied up in these city lights. I must be free to roam the earth. I know that you might miss me, but all these winding roads are taking me to where I'm feeling I must go. I know I must confess that I don't ever think I'll find my home. I must just be a wandering soul and see. I'm not sure if I'll ever come back home to Calgary. Oh, no. It's unreal the way these mountains turn to dust, the way each moment turns to unsaving adjustments for the trust between ourselves. Each agreement is...
Hey guys, so I have to be quite speedy because I'm currently in the middle of making dinner and I'm doing Patreon sprints tonight, so I'm only making a quick dinner, but I have a little box from Owlcrate that I want to unbox for you guys, and this is one of their special editions. They've sent two recently, so I'm not sure which one this is. This one is Bonecryer's Dawn by Catherine Purdy. Really pretty. I love the purple of this. So this is the sequel to Bonecryer's Moon, which I think actually made it onto my most disappointing list of 2020, but it's only a duology, so I do want to see how the story wraps up. As this is an Owlcrate edition, it does have an exclusive cover as well, so I will overlay the original cover over the top so that you guys can see the difference. But I love the stunning purple. I think as well, if you look real closely, I think there's a face here. signature, which I'm not even sure why I noticed that because it is hard to see with the foiling, but I'm in love with this purple. And the edges of this are sprayed silver. Is it signed as well? Yes, we also have a signature from the author on an end page that matches the one in Bonecryer's Moon. So this is absolutely stunning. But Bonecryer's Moon follows two girls called Sabine and Ailess, and Bonecryer is a woman tasked with ferrying the spirits of the dead to the gates of heaven or hell. And there are many steps that you have to complete to be able to do this, but the most important one is that you have to lure your true love to a bridge on the full moon, and then within the time period of a year you have to kill him. So we also have a character in here called Bastion, and he has a vendetta against the Bonecryers because he saw one kill his father. So one of the girls is completing her Bonecryer ceremony to become a fully fledged Bonecryer, and Bastion is lurking by bridges. They get into an altercation and Bastion wants to kill her, but he's unsure because she was doing the ritual whether he is actually her true love, and if he kills her that means that he himself also dies. So it's like, it is a fantasy romance. I just didn't love the writing in here, and it has an unusual structure in that the first book there's no like big overwhelming evil to defeat or anything. Considering the size of it, because it's like around 500 pages, it just didn't leave a lasting impact on me and I wasn't too interested in it. But I am really interested in reading the second installment, like I said, because it is only a duology. If this series was any longer, then I probably would not bother. But thank you so much to Owlcrate for sending this to me. I am a rep for Owlcrate. My code doesn't work, I don't think, on special editions, but if you would like to get a regular Owlcrate subscription, then my code for that is Becca. So I do have to dash off, so I don't want to say anything more about Malice at this moment, but I am on page 400. So I have, I think, 74 pages of this left. I'm really enjoying it. I've been reading like 100-page chunks of this, no problem, and I'm somebody whose mind normally wanders, so I don't think it's going to be a problem for me to finish this one off early on in my sprints, and then I'll come and let you guys know my full thoughts. Hey, so I just finished Malice. I really enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars. I will say that this is being published as adult and it does read like YA, like it has a very YA writing style. I don't understand like what about it exactly makes it, like pushes it into the adult demographic. There's, in terms of like actual content, there's like 2 swear words I think, and there's some steaminess with the romance, but the writing style is very YA. I would say a lot of the themes are YA. I'm wondering if it's like the darkness of some of the characters' actions and how those things aren't really challenged, because that's not the point. It's like a villain story, but I mean much worse in terms of those kind of themes has been published in YA. So I would say that if you're going into this knowing it's adult, don't expect it to be like super adult. There's nothing like particularly grimdark about this. I will say that it didn't lean into the darkness as much as I wanted it to, knowing that it was a villain story and that it was adult. It reminded me a lot of Heartless by Marissa Meyer in terms of like a villain origin story, because it doesn't really start off that dark. Like the main character does curse things, and as we go through the book it does progress and get like a little bit darker. It wasn't the kind of villain story where it's like, I'm a big bad villain and I'm doing terrible things because I enjoy doing terrible things kind of story. So it was pretty much, aside from the Sleeping Beauty retelling female-female relationship, in terms of the content and the tone and stuff, it was not what I expected it to be. I was worried that if it wasn't as dark and it wasn't as adult as I was expecting it to be going into it, that I wouldn't enjoy it. Still did. I just think that if you do have those expectations that it's going to be super dark and super adult, then to lower them a little bit, and I think you will enjoy this. It has a very fairy tale-esque nature. I think that the world building in here was very enjoyable. I mentioned how it's kind of like the capital in the Hunger Games in some of the scenes, like with the palace and stuff, and the whimsy that's present in those scenes. We have quite a good bit of politics in here, not super complex. The magic is not super complex. The writing, I will say, like telling and not showing is a recurrent theme throughout throughout here. We also had other similar writing techniques like the villain monologue to give information to the reader. So the writing was enjoyable to read. It was a compelling story, but technically not the best, not the most engaging writing that I have ever read. But I did fly through this, really enjoyed it. I was hooked on the story. I did really enjoy the main character of Alice as well. I also really enjoyed Aurora. I really enjoyed how the main plot points of Sleeping Beauty were woven through here with like a twist on them. The female-female romance, I will say, like, I didn't feel the most chemistry, like I wasn't super rooting for it, but I did really enjoy how it tied into the main character's like personal journey and their character arc. If it sounds like something you're interested in, then I would definitely recommend picking it up, but it isn't as adult or dark as I expected going into it, so that kind of explains the detracted star. Also on Goodreads, this doesn't say that it's part of a series, so assumedly a standalone. However, I will say that the ending reads like there could possibly be a sequel to this in the future, and if there is, then I'm definitely down to read it. So thank you so much to Del Rey for sending me this one, and this was also on my Bookopoly TBR to read a fantasy. So I'm still in sprints at the minute, and I will be for at least another hour, just over an hour. So I'm about to start my next read, which is also on my Bookopoly TBR. This one is on there for a video project, and lo and behold, this vlog is the video project that I selected this for, and that one is Dream Country by Shay Brown. So this one was sent to me by Ennui. Thank you so much once again for that. So this one is about the triplet gods of dreams, sleep, and nightmares, and they are all suspects in their mother's murder. I believe that this one is a blend of African and Brazilian myth, but I'm pretty sure there's another one as well. Yeah, it says on the little synopsis in the front cover that this has Kenyan, Brazilian, Jamaican, and Grecian cultural references. Honestly, it sounds really interesting. I believe it's YA, and I'm just excited to dive in, so I'm gonna go do that.
But now I know that you might miss me. But all these winding paths are taking me to where I know that I belong. Now I must confess that I might miss this place that I call home. I must just be a wandering soul at sea. I'm not so sure that I'll ever come back home to Calgary. Oh, no, no.
Hello, it is Friday, and over the last couple of days I've accumulated quite a few books, and I don't really know how this has happened, but I'm just going to run through them for you guys quickly because a lot of them just don't really need any description. So the ones that I said that I'd ordered arrived. I have Truth Witch and Wind Witch by Susan Dennard in hardback. I got Blood Witch earlier in the week, and honestly I'm just obsessed with the UK hardback of Wind Witch. I don't like Truth Witch because it's more of a photographic cover, but Wind Witch and Blood Witch are absolutely stunning. Something else that I ordered that arrived is Red, White and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. If you guys watch my Bookopoly TBR, you will know that this is my punishment pick for the month. I actually don't think I'm going to dislike this. It's just that I literally have no interest in it. Like, left to my own devices, I would never pick this up because I'm just not interested. But this is a new adult romance, I think, about the son of the president in the United States and a prince of England, and it is a male-male romance between the two of them. It is obviously like it's a contemporary, but it's set in a world where we have like a female president of America, and this guy, whoever he may be, is the prince. I've heard really good things about this, but I have also heard that people in the US tend to enjoy it a lot more than people in the UK because of the inaccurate British stereotypes. So we'll see what I think about this, and I think I'm going to be buddy reading this with Simon from Simon Savage as well, which I'm really excited about. And I also got a massive, oh my god, it's so heavy, Waterstones box today, and I opened this and straight away I knew what it was, I knew who it was from, and this is Dance with Dragons by George R.R. Martin. This, I don't think it's going to say on it, but I absolutely 100% know that this is from Gavin because I have the entire set. Gav has been gifting me one of these books for every like Christmas and birthday for, this has to be the 3rd year running, and this is the last one in the set, so thank you so much, Gav. These look absolutely stunning. They're on the bookshelf that's just under the window, so you don't really see them too often on my channel because I never film with like my back to the light source, but they come in a slipcase and they have the map of Westeros embossed on the cover. We also have gilt edges and illustrated end papers in here as well. Ooh, that's real pretty. Oh my god, I love, because they're gilt edges, I love the crackle when you flip through. So thank you so much, Gav, for this. I believe this is a late Christmas present. And in terms of my reading, I'm behind because I should be finishing this book and starting another book today, and I don't know if I'm going to manage it. I don't know where the book is now because I've been moving things around. I don't know how I managed to lose this because it's so like obnoxiously blue and reflective, but I'm still currently reading Dream Country by Shea Brown. I'm halfway through now. Yeah, I'm on page 198, so I have 192 pages to go, and I need to have this finished today because oh my god, why can't I find anything? Witchy Steeped in Gold is 550 pages long, so yeah, really do need to finish this today. And tomorrow I'm going to be in live sprints most of the day, and then I have the Truth Witch live show at 9 p.m, and then after that I'm playing Fortnite with Curtis and Ryan. So busy day tomorrow. I have to film tomorrow as well, but I'm halfway through Dream Country. So this follows 3 triplets. They are the gods of sleep, dreams and nightmares, and when they were 6 years old the mother was murdered, and they are all suspects in the murder of their mother. Their years move a lot slower than mortal years, so every year for them is like hundreds of years for mortals. So I'm mainly following Theo in here, and he is the god of sleep, and then we've also been following, I think you would pronounce it Torres, who is the god of nightmares a little bit. And I'm sad that we're not really getting too much of Fanta, who is the sister and the god of dreams, yet. Like, she has been present in the story, but we haven't read from her perspective, and you know, she's the female main character, so I want more of her. But every god year in here, so every few hundred years for mortals, there is something called the Majorical, and the gates between the mortal realm and the realms of sleep, dreams and nightmares will close for 5 days, and every one of the gods gets to choose, are they called a magus, to take with them, and it's supposed to be like this divine thing that one person gets chosen and bestowed with the gifts and wisdom of the gods. And the realms of sleep, dreams and nightmares have been separated. They used to be one, but now there are gates of horn and ivory that separate the 3 realms, and the triplets don't get on very well. So it's very important that these gates are standing so that the triplets don't fight with each other. And one day a mortal boy appears in the realm of sleep, and his cry shakes the gates of horn and ivory. So because of that, the gods go down to earth just before this Majorical is about to start and look for this boy so that they can figure out why he has this power, because he's literally a baby. I feel like that's all I can say because this book is quite slow moving, and I haven't really worked out the overall goal of the plot yet. Like, I don't really have any theories about how this is going to wrap up, but what I will say is that it is absolutely beautifully written. I love the writing style in here, and I also really like the realms because each realm is representative of the god that rules it. There's like a whole ton of mythology in here. A lot of it will be real world mythology. I'm not super knowledgeable about mythology in general, but this definitely contains mythology that I'm unfamiliar with because, as I mentioned, it is Kenyan, Jamaican and Brazilian. So I kind of wish I was a bit more familiar with those mythologies so that I could pick up on the references. I haven't even particularly picked up on the Grecian references in here, and that is the mythology that I would be most familiar with. But I really love how mythological it is. Like, it feels like a story inspired by mythology. Every so often as well, we have passages from like the Mortal's Holy Book, which gives you a little bit of the history and like mythology and lore of the gods, which I think is really cool. And yeah, I'm just really really enjoying it. In the story now, I feel like I've just got to a point where things are really starting to happen. Like the world has been established, the characters have been established, everything's kind of been set up, and we're at the point where things are going to start to go horribly wrong and the characters are going to have to find some resolution. Fingers crossed I'll be able to finish it tonight. Even though it is slow paced and the writing is really beautiful, it's not a difficult read, and the information I'm being given about like the world building and the characters and the mythology and lore is keeping me really interested. It's just the last couple of days I've been not necessarily busy. Yesterday was a kind of shitty day. I woke up feeling really groggy, had a really slow start to my day, ended up with a headache that lasted most of the day, and yeah, yesterday was pretty much a wash. And then today I've had quite a lot to do during the daytime, still making candles for my restock, so I haven't been reading, but when I am reading, it is keeping me absorbed and I don't have any problem like reading massive chunks of this at once, so fingers crossed I'll be able to get it done. Good evening. It is Saturday. It is 8:16 p.m. and I have had a very tiring day. I got out of bed at 6 a.m. because I was doing sprints on Steph's channel at 11 and I wanted to get my morning workout in, shower, get dressed, put my makeup on, film a video and start editing that video before the sprint started. So I didn't intentionally get up at 6, I just woke up at 6 and realized there was no point me falling back asleep, because if I did I would probably get up at midday. So now at 8 p.m. at night I'm getting very sleepy, but I'm coming to update you guys because I finished Dream Country by Shea Brown at like 7 a.m. this morning. I had 50 pages left when I went to bed last night, so treating myself to a little bit of a chill morning and finished this one off. I really liked it. I gave it 4 stars. I really enjoyed the writing. 100%. It was my favorite thing about it. I did enjoy the characters. Some of them I would have liked to have seen more of, but overall I had a great time following them. I really enjoyed the world building in terms of like the religion and the structure and the way that the gods were and how that differed from the way that people worshipped them and the whole system they had going on there. I found it really interesting how we had these like human-like gods where they were like humans but lived in like a god realm, and how that was all sectioned off and all the politics and stuff. My one kind of downside about this is the plot. I liked how it ended and how it wrapped up and what the deal was there, but there was still a mystery element, like something going in here that I expected to know by the end that I don't feel like I did. I don't know whether it's like a misconception, it's like, well, you thought that something was gonna happen but it's not gonna happen because that's not the point, or whether I'm like dissatisfied. Like I don't know whether I'm dissatisfied with that element being missing or whether I'm missing the point of this, but I would definitely recommend this. It reminded me of Gods of Jade and Shadow by Sylvia Marino Garcia in the way that it was very atmospheric, very well written, full of mythology, and it's just the atmosphere, you know. I've been really enjoying books like this that really delve into mythology from different cultures, and especially when they're paired with beautiful writing like both this and Gods of Jade and Shadow is. Had a great time just really diving into this world and discovering more about it. The only thing I'm really sad about is that I'm not familiar with like Kenyan, Jamaican or Brazilian mythology. It's something I do like doing when I'm reading any kind of book, if it's inspired by something else, is like picking up on the bits that I recognize from like folklore, myth and all of that kind of stuff. But that's on me, that's not on the book. I'm just not knowledgeable about these types of mythology. That being said, I have the live show for Truth Witch in 40 minutes, and I know that I told you guys that I was going to read Witches Steeped in Gold by Shannon Smart if I got time, but I'm not obligated to review this one, and I did start it very briefly in sprints earlier. I didn't even read one chapter, and I think it's just because I'm real tired right now because I've been up since 6 a.m. but I've actually made the decision that I'm not going to be reading Witches Steeped in Gold in this vlog. I will still read it at some point. I believe that this has been selected for a couple of subscription boxes in I think May, but I'm going to end up with finished copies of this as well, and I'm definitely going to read it at some point. But as I mentioned, this is not a book that I'm obligated to review. I may even read it later in the month. It's just my original plan was to extend this vlog till Monday if I could finish it in time, but this is a chunky book. It's 550 pages, and while I could go read some now, read after the Truth Witch live, spend all tomorrow reading and all Monday trying to finish this and like postpone the vlog and all that, I could also not, and I could wrap up this vlog right here and I could take a day off, like a complete day off where I don't even have vlogging to do because I've already ended my vlog. And I think it is just because I'm tired because I've been up since 6 AM that seems like an amazing idea, the best idea that I've ever had. So that is what I'm gonna do. So of my 3 arcs, I did manage to read 2, and it doesn't feel substantial only reading 2 books in a vlog, but they added up to like 900 pages, so it's still a significant amount. I gave both of these 4 stars, would recommend that you pick them up. This one is released on the 11th of March, so the day that this goes live, and this one is released a little bit later. It's the 20 something, I believe. I think it's like the 27th, but this one is an indie publisher, so if anything I've said sounds interesting to you, would definitely recommend that you check this one out, get it a bit more publicity, a few more sales, because yeah, it is an indie press book and I really enjoyed it, and I think a lot of you guys will as well, especially if you like those really rich atmospheric mythological reads. Also, don't know if I mentioned, but these 2 are also on my Bookopoly TBR. This one was for video project, this is the video project, and this one was to read a fantasy. So that is 2 more Bookopoly books down, and I only have 3 to go, and we're only on the 10th of the month. I am killing it this month, guys. But that is about it for this week's vlog, so please don't forget to like if you liked it and subscribe if you wanna, and I'll see you guys next week after I've had a day off and I'm a lot more refreshed. Bye!
Oh, you bite your friend like chocolate. You say you'll go where nobody knows, with guns hidden under our petticoats. We're never gonna quit it, no, we're never gonna quit it, no.